about me. Today's about how we can give you some nuggets, some overview, some ideas of how some of these big brands think strategically about their businesses and how they use those really simple things but do them really well in terms of taking their businesses forward and becoming those corporate giants, becoming those multi-million pound industries. But if you look at, say, someone like Apple, they're all about making the customer's life easy. You buy an Apple product, it just works. If you look at Amazon, it's a one-click process. Last night, about 11:30, when my printer ran out of ink, I went on Amazon Prime and ordered some more ink. It'll be delivered this morning. So it's all about ease. And Virgin, all about customer service. So these are really simple things that people have got in their minds, and they've made a lot of money and they've made a lot of success out of that. So we really think that the simple things in business, if you do better and you really focus on them, then you can make your business a lot more successful than it is. So we say any business development or business transformation begins with the creation of a realistic and achievable strategy. Really simple. What does that mean? So we talk about, are you clear on what you want to do, how you want to do it, when you want to do it, and for who? Okay, and we'll talk about this in a little bit of an exercise in a couple of minutes. That sounds simple. We then ask you to think about what are the long-term objectives of your company. So have you just come into business because you were good at something and you decided I can make a business out of it? What's the next step? So many people go into business and they 2 years later fall out of business because the original idea they had was really good, but the follow-up stuff to that, how to take the next product or how to take the business to another level when someone starts copying you, they don't have that strategy in mind. So what are your long-term objectives? Is it just a hobby or is it a business? And we also think that people should be thinking about visions which are 3, 4, 5 years ahead, but more importantly than that, they should be thinking about the next 12 months, the next 6 months, the next 90 days. Okay, and we're going to talk a little bit about this. Break your long-term goals into smaller goals, because if you want to climb Everest, it's a long way, but you've got to start saying, right, we'll make it to base camp, and then the next stage and the next stage. That's the way to do it. If we were doing an exercise, and again, this would take a lot longer, but if you just go into your first page, just make some notes as we go through this exercise. The first thing we would do is we'd always say to a new prospect, a new client, let's have a chat about where you are, what you're going, just to understand a little bit about how we work together. And the way we'd start with that is, right in the middle, I'd like you to write down what makes you special, your business, and what's your success criteria. Just put a couple of notes down for me and we'll just discuss them quickly, please. Because one of the things we always talk about is that if you're just another, I'll stick with retail, if you're just another clothes shop, if you're just another restaurant, why are people going to pick you ahead of someone else? Right. Dispersing the whole 33 million, I like that. So one of the things we'll always talk about in this situation is, take B&Q. When they're selling a drill, do you see pictures of the drill, or do you see someone hanging a shelf up? You sort of see the shelf a lot more, don't you, or the picture frame. So one of the ways in which you can make your business more special and more appealing is to not so much talk about the technical jargon and how special you are, but talk about the outcome you give. So again, let's go back, stick with the drill. I don't really care how powerful the drill is or how brilliant the drill is. I just know that I need a drill because I've got to hang the shelf up because my wife has been nagging me for 3 months. So in your business, can you think about the outcome you deliver rather than just what you do? Now, turn it around in your business. What is it that you do? You don't just, Denise, isn't it? Denise, you don't just do recruitment, do you?
We help SMEs and startups with their growth plans and their scaling up through recruitment.
There you go. So what you do is, if I'm an SME and one of my problems that I don't want to deal with, I don't want to interview 100 people, or I don't want to go out on the streets and find people, you take that headache away from me so I can keep running my business. And that's what you've got to kind of think of. When you're positioning your business and pitching your business, it's got to be a lot more about what you do, what you affect, what outcome you give, rather than we're the largest online retailer. So let's move on a little bit. If you go in the top left-hand corner, think about how will you do it? So who's going to do the physical work? Where will you do it? Do you need somewhere special? Do you need something special? Do you need some qualifications? Do you need some certifications? Do you need to show that you're an expert in some market? So this top left-hand corner is how will you do it? Will you do it for? Now, this is a really big problem for businesses, I think. In our experience with a lot of the people we've worked with, even big corporations, there's a big mismatch between what they think they do and who they're doing it for. Well, that's because we need to be the go-to person in the UK for drills. I'll stick with drills for the rest of the session. So really think about who you're going to do it for. Really think who your target customer is. Really think where they are, where they hang out. We'll talk about this a little bit more. Rather than just try and capture all 54 million registered companies in the UK. Really think about who you're trying to get. Because if you're an SME, probably getting 5 new customers a month is probably really good news for you. 10 new customers a month is really good news for you. And instead, a lot of people suddenly set on these campaigns to get thousands of customers a month and suddenly fall over. And the last one, the whole financially feasible. People forget about this aspect of a business plan, of a business strategy, because they say we're going to do something that's going to be great. And we'll talk a little bit about market analysis in a few minutes. They don't understand the cost of buying something, the cost of operating, what they're going to sell it for, how profitable it is. These really seem like simple things, don't they? But we forget to do them. Internal strategy, and we've got the external strategy. And your internal strategy is very much about how you're going to operate, what your values and beliefs are. And your external strategy is very much about how you're going to go to market. Okay? Now, I'm going to talk about these both in a second. So if I'm thinking internally, I'm thinking about the way I'm going to operate, the way I'm going to exist, the way I'm going to recruit people, the kind of values and beliefs I have. But externally, it's about how I set my image up, my positioning up, and things like this. So there is 2 different sets of thinking. We will always say, your culture will trump your strategy 10 out of 10 times. If you've got a really good strategy document, I'm going to pick this up. Got a really great strategy document. Look, it's put together really well. But the values and beliefs that I behave with as an organisation myself don't reflect that. If that's your values and beliefs, that's what you need to do as an organisation. Then do it, live it, breathe it, behave like it, because then your staff will do the same. You won't be there all the time as a business owner. Your staff will have to behave the same way as you do. So culture beats strategy every time. And if you have a great strategy but a bad culture, it's going to be really ineffective. It's not going to give you the results. So that's an internal perspective. Let's talk something else about internally. Your people. If you're in business, most of the time you've got to be a people person. How you value your people, your customers and your staff, reflects massively on how they, in turn, treat other people. Right? So what kind of values and beliefs you have as a manager, as a business owner, rubs off onto your employees and your staff. If you treat them well, they're more likely to treat your customers well. We think that no matter how amazing your strategy is, no matter how amazing your marketing is, if you don't have customers, you don't have a business. You don't have a business. Long term, you don't have a business. And for that reason, everything you do has to be focused on your customers. So we talked about already, be clear who your target market is, because everything you do internally should reflect on that. And everybody in your organisation, from the doorman, the receptionist, the delivery driver, the after-sales service, they need to understand their part they are playing in that customer's journey. 89% of the major brands they interviewed said they expect to compete on customer experience. Really important fact, really important research that you should really consider, because we're in the market now where anybody can import cheap goods from overseas. Right, so
online.
So it's all online. So everybody can do online import from overseas, use Amazon fulfillment services, so I don't have to have a big warehouse. Everybody's going to be able to compete on price soon, aren't they? But what's going to make your business different? It's going to be the fact that customers are going to enjoy the experience of shopping with you, the value you bring. So how are you going to differentiate? Internally, this is internal thinking again. How are you going to stand out from the Me Too's? How are you going to make your strategy such that people say, do you know what? I'm going to go and shop at, I don't remember the name of your company.
VIP Boutique.
At VIP Boutique because I enjoyed it, I loved it. That's what you want to get to. And we talk about, don't worry about making one sale. Don't just think about how much can I squeeze out of this customer right now. Think about how many transactions I can have with them over a lifetime. So I've built my businesses on retained customers, retaining customers. We've got walls of thank you cards and likes and shares. Because what happens is, if people like you and if people tell other people they like you, guess what? The next time they're coming to buy, you don't have to work so hard to sell. It's cheaper to sell to them. The next time they're coming to buy means that you didn't have to spend so much money to get that lead because they're already going to buy off you. There's so many benefits of retained sales. Okay, to wrap up, what do we talk about? Talk about consider your audience, consider who you want to do the work for. Understand what you want to do. The phrase I always use is, do you want to save the world or do you want to buy a Bentley? Okay, I know where I am in that, but what makes you special? Really work on this, honestly. If you can find a way of being better than, specialer, is that a word? Specialer than your competition, people will come back to you all the time. You'll be the go-to person, right? Think about what makes you special. Think about what you deliver, not what you do. You don't just sell a drill, you help people hang shelves. You help them put frames. Really think about the outcome and then sell that, pitch that. Don't pitch that we're a management consultancy. Pitch, we help you grow your revenue. We help you increase your profitability. Whatever it is, really focus on the outcome. Target customers, target market. I'm going to say that again. You know what I'm going to say there. Evidence it, really evidence it, guys. Don't just jump into it. If you're passionate about it, jump into it and then you'll regret it less. But if you want to be a bit more strategic, evidence it a little bit. Get someone to help you. There's people in this room, and obviously I don't know everybody in this room, but you've got consultants in this room, you've got family, friends, you've got people in your networks who can probably just help you with something. Of course, we can help you with all of it, but we're not here to talk about us, it's about you. But get someone to help you with it. That little bit of time you spend, if you gave, bought someone dinner or spent a couple of £100 or whatever that small cost, it might save you thousands in the long term. Really think about this. Just because you've got passion doesn't mean there's money. Okay, I've got passion about loads of things, but there's no business opportunities. Create a plan, measure, we talked about that as well.